Choosing the right communication platform, it's a huge deal for any growing business, right? So today, we're going to put two major players, MyOperator and Exotel, head-to-head to help you figure it all out.
Hi, I'm Maiko, your AI knowledge operator, and my whole job is to take complex stuff like this and break it down into a clear, structured guide so you can make smarter decisions faster. All right, let's get into it.
Does this sound familiar? You're juggling customer calls on one system, and at the same time, your WhatsApp is just blowing up on another. It's a real headache, right? And it can lead to missed opportunities and, honestly, a pretty clunky customer experience. That's the exact problem we're going to tackle today. Okay, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll start with a solid checklist for evaluating any platform. Then, we'll jump into a head-to-head comparison. After that, we'll highlight the big differences, answer some common questions, and wrap up by helping you figure out what's the best fit for your business.
All right, first things first. Before we even talk about specific brands, we need to set some ground rules. Think of this 4-point checklist as your foundation for making a smart choice no matter who you're looking at.
So, these are the 4 pillars of what makes a great communication platform. First up, can it handle all your channels in one spot? Second, will it actually grow with you without, falling apart? Third, is the pricing clear and upfront? And finally, maybe the most important, can you get a real human to help you when things go wrong? Let's break down why each of these is an absolute must-have. Okay, first up, omni-channel capability. And look, this isn't just about having both calls and WhatsApp. It's about having them in one single, unified inbox. Why does that matter? Because it gives your team the full story on every single customer conversation. And that, my friends, is a total game changer for your team's efficiency. Next, let's talk about scaling. I want you to picture your biggest sales day ever, like Black Friday, but for your business. The absolute last thing you want is your communication system crashing under the pressure. A platform that's truly built for scale can handle those huge spikes in traffic without a single hiccup or delay. That means you never, ever miss a lead. And then, of course, there's the money. Transparent pricing is so important. It just means you know exactly what you're paying for. No sneaky hidden fees, no surprise costs per conversation. This lets you actually plan your budget and grow with confidence, instead of dreading that next bill. And finally, support. Your communication platform is the lifeline of your business, right? So you need a quick setup. You need guided verification, and most importantly, you need responsive human support. Because when something goes wrong, and eventually it will, you just can't afford to be stuck in a ticket queue for days on end. You need a real person fast.
All right, now that we've got our valuation framework locked in, let's actually put it to use. It's time to put MyOperator and Exotel side by side and see how they really stack up against our checklist.
So these are two of the biggest names out there for sure, but they come at this whole unified communications thing from slightly different angles. Let's dig into the details.
Okay, let's break this down. As you can see, both platforms offer the official WhatsApp Business API, but the devil is really in the details. MyOperator, for instance, gives you a truly unified inbox for both WhatsApp and calls. With Exotel, those tools are often in separate modules. Now look at performance. The source material points out that MyOperator is really optimized for high-volume routing, while some users have reported lag on Exotel during those super busy times. And you can see the same kind of differences in pricing and support, right? MyOperator is all about those transparent, INR-based plans and human support, while Exotel often goes with custom quotes and a more documentation-first approach to onboarding.
So what are the big takeaways from that comparison? Based on the analysis we're looking at, let's zoom in on the main things that make MyOperator stand out as a strong alternative.
First up, it's all about the architecture. The platform is designed from the ground up to handle massive volumes of calls and WhatsApp messages at the same time, with what they call enterprise-grade stability. This is absolutely critical for any business that has crazy peak hours and just cannot afford any downtime. Next up is pricing. The source really emphasizes MyOperator's simple, predictable plans that are all based in Indian rupees. This whole approach, with no hidden markups, is specifically designed to make scaling easier and way more predictable, especially for Indian SMBs and growing businesses. This also points to a pretty big difference in their support philosophy. The focus here is on getting you fast, human-led help for basically everything, from getting set up to just your day-to-day operations. The whole idea is to get you talking to a person quickly, instead of making you dig through pages of documentation or wait for a ticket to be answered. And finally, automation. The platform gives you these smart AI workflows that work across both your calls and your WhatsApp chats. And what's really important here is that they're designed to stay compliant with Meta's constantly changing rules. That way, your communication channels stay active, effective, and you don't have to worry about getting shut down.
Okay, now let's tackle some of the most common questions that pop up when you're trying to compare these two platforms. This should clear up a few key points for you.
All right, the big one. What about the cost? Is one of them just straight up cheaper than the other?
Well, the honest answer is it's not quite that simple. MyOperator's transparent, bundled plans can be a lot easier to predict. Exotel, on the other hand, often uses custom, usage-based quotes, which is common for larger companies. So, here's the bottom line. You really need to get a like-for-like quote based on your specific needs. That's the only way to see what really makes financial sense for you. Okay, what if you have a tech team? You know, people who want to build custom solutions. Which platform is going to be more developer-friendly? This is where the distinction is pretty clear. Exotel has deep roots as what's called a CPaaS, or a communications platform as a service. That makes it a really powerful choice for teams that need to get deep into the APIs and build custom stuff. MyOperator, on the other hand, tries to strike more of a balance. It offers integrations, for sure, but it also has a lot of no-code workflows that let non-technical folks set up automations really, really quickly. So after looking at the framework, the side-by-side comparison, and those common questions, what's the final verdict? Well, it all comes back to you and what your business actually needs. And that brings us to our final thought for today. Think back to that framework. Is your number one priority the developer freedom you get with a CPaaS, or is it the day-to-day operational speed of a truly unified inbox with transparent pricing and hands-on support? By weighing those four criteria, omnichannel, scaling, price, and support against your own business goals, you can find the platform that's not just going to solve today's problems, but will actually help you grow in the future.